Ni hao, or should I say, hello. I am your tour guide for today, and we will be exploring the world of China. We will discover how Chinese people communicate verbally and non-verbally in such specific area. I know you're excited, so let's start.
Hello everyone! Have you ever wondered how do Chinese people keep their business successful? Or what are they talking about when they're having business meetings? What are the restrictions they strictly follow? Wonder no more because I got you. Today, we will be talking about the do's and don'ts in a Chinese business meeting. First, let's talk about the do's in a Chinese business meeting. Do use a couple of words in Chinese, such as ni hao or hello, ni hao ma or how are you, and xie xie or thank you. It is an advantage that you learn some Chinese words, but make sure you're aware of its meaning. You don't want to embarrass yourself in front of the Chinese, right? Use titles to show courtesy. Most businessmen should be addressed by their title, followed by their last name. For example, you want to greet the president. You would say, Ni hao, Li Zhejiang. Or in English, hello, Mr. President. Make sure to bring plenty business cards. It is a common practice in China to exchange business cards when having meetings. Always bring many of them. The other party will think that you are a competent businessman if you bring plenty of business cards with you. Let's proceed to the things that you shouldn't do when you are in a Chinese business meeting. Do not talk about political related discussions, such as the Cultural Revolution, human rights, and animal treatment. It is a major no that you talk about political related discussions, especially when you're having business meeting. For Chinese, they believe that business is business. No other topics allowed. Remember that? Do not bring presents. Chinese businessmen forbid gifts when having a business meeting. For them, giving presents is an act of bribery. They will think of you as an incompetent and boastful businessman. So never bring presents in a business meeting. Do not use the word no to reject someone. Chinese people are very careful for the usage of strong negative statements. A blunt answer of no is too straightforward. They will be easily offended and will more likely to reject your proposal. So instead of saying no, use the alternatives, okay, I will think about it later. Or, yes, for sure, maybe later. That would be our lesson for today. Thank you for listening.
Great explanation, Nina. Let us now move on to the next one.
Eating plays a big role in Chinese culture. It is almost everywhere, whether it is a Thanksgiving, a celebration, or to strengthen bonds. So doing it properly is very important. Good manners indicate good luck, and bad etiquette indicates bad luck. And we don't want that to happen, right? Fear no more, friends, because I got you. I am here to discuss to you the 6 general ways on how to enjoy your Chinese delicious meal without even breaking the rules. Number 1. Sit at the right place. The chair facing the entrance is known as the command seat. This seat is usually reserved for the person with the highest status. Do not sit there if you are not told to do so, but if you are asked to do so, do not turn down the offer. Number 2. Don't stick your chopsticks straight up in a rice bowl. In Chinese culture, this is known as a symbol of death, and it is a bad luck. Number 3. Be careful when asking for second. I know Chinese food is very delicious and you wanted to have another bite, but always be careful when asking for it because it is usually translated to yao fan, which also refers to begging for food, and begging is a bad luck. Number 4. Always say thank you when someone purrs tea for you. You can always say it verbally or non-verbally. You can say it into 谢谢 or you can tap the table like this. Number 5. Do not drink all by yourself. Always have a toast with someone nearby. To have a toast, lift your glass, make an eye contact, and say ganbei, or in English meaning empty glass. Number 6. The host or the guest of honor is usually the one who's in charge of paying the bills. You do not argue with them because if you argue with them, it is like you're saying to them that they cannot pay the bills. So just sit back, relax, and let them pay for it. But of course, thank them graciously for their generosity. Thank you, and I hope you learned something.
Nice one, Maya. We can now proceed to gift giving. Oh, I love receiving gifts.
Hello everyone, today I am going to present to you the do's and don'ts in gift giving and receiving gifts in Chinese culture.
In Chinese culture, gift giving is not only a way of marking special occasions like holidays and birthdays, but it's also used to build and maintain relationships with others. Greet to all people in the family, no matter whether they are acquaintances or not. Always express your thanks to the host when you leave. Bring gifts to the host. It is a suitable way to say thank you, to give gifts to the people who invited you. Do refuse the gift a number of times before accepting it. Politely refusing a gift before accepting it is the norm in Chinese culture, so don't be discouraged when someone initially refuses your gift. The gift should be wrapped well. Meanings of colors for the gift wrap are red for happy occasions, white or black for funerals, and gold or silver for weddings. Don't give clocks or other symbolic items. Clocks and things related to the number 4 are associated with death in China, and sharp objects symbolizes the severing of relationships. Meanings of colors for the gift wrap are red for happy occasions, white or black for funerals, and gold or silver for weddings. The amount of money inside depends on how close you are to the recipient. Do present and receive things with both hands. This is considered polite in Chinese culture. Always express your thanks to the host when you leave. Do give small items like books, music CDs, perfumes, cigarettes, and candies from your home country or a well-known Chinese brand. These are always appreciated and are always well received. You should never write a Chinese person's name in red ink, since some people believe it will bring that person bad luck. Don't be too eager to unwrap your gift. Unless the person offering the gift insists, it's considered polite in Chinese culture to open gifts after you or your guest leave.
What a calming explanation, Mikey. We would love to receive gifts from you.
Common gestures in China. Body language can make communicating more effective and fun. When you're engaged in a conversation, body gestures play a great role in conveying your message. A lot can be integrated into your body language. With well-performed body gestures along with verbal language, individuals' communication can be way more efficient and delightful. Due to the differences between cultures, the rules for body gestures can vary. China, with a rich and strong history, refers to this as Li Yi Zi Bao, meaning a state of ceremonies. As the very part of Chinese language, Chinese gestures and body language in Chinese culture hold much importance. If you want to communicate and express yourself more vividly and properly, here's a guide to open your eyes to Chinese culture and its body gestures. Do you know any body gestures that are unique to the Chinese culture? The first body language we are going to talk about is bowing. 鞠躬, to bow. Bowing. Some people may have the false impression that Chinese people bow on a daily basis. Well, the truth is that nowadays, bowing only happens on a very few occasions. Bowing happens on a very few occasions, such as in restaurants, stores or hotels that you may have waiters by the door. Performers may bow at the end of your show to thank the audience. It is courtesy to bow at funerals and visiting the deceased ones in the cemetery. Without words, there are still many ways for people to communicate. A kiss, a smile, the fluttering of the hands, the movements of the eyes, a handshake, and head movements. These are just some of the silent ways for people to speak to one another without voice. In most cultures, it is customary to shake hands when meeting someone. In Asian countries, particularly in Japan, China, Taiwan, and Korea, bowing the head is the more traditional form of greeting. In Europe, on the other hand, bowing the head is typically used by aristocracy and nobility. It is said that the deeper the bow, the deeper is the respect or gratitude shown by a person. But while Asians bow with their legs together and heads down, European males execute the gestures as a bow and scrape. This translates to the man bowing from the waist with the left hand pressed in a horizontal position across his abdomen, while the right leg is drawn back as he bows, scraping the floor in an arc towards the back and extending the right arm out to the sides. But there is more to the head bowing than just an act of courtesy, as you are about to see. In this part of the world, bowing the head takes on many meanings. It is a form of greeting, a sign of respect, and used to express deference, sincerity, humility, and remorse. The bow originates from the waist. With the back straight, men place their hands on the side while women clasp their hands in front. Eyes should be down. It's good to remember that the deeper the bow, the stronger the emotions that comes with it. 15-degree bows are used for informal and formal occasions, while a 30-degree angle bow is reserved for very formal times. Kneeling before bowing with the forehead touching the floor is also done in extreme cases. You'll find head bowing is performed almost everywhere in Korea, Japan, Vietnam, and China. It's done before and after martial arts practice and competition. At these ceremonies at our religious shrines, it may look simple, but the performance of bowing the head is quite complex. So what is Chinese gestures the Chinese use to greet? Well, the Chinese greeting gestures are pretty much the same. People who meet from the first time, a handshake is very common and expected, especially on business and formal occasions. A handshake in Chinese is called Wo Shu. Wo is to hold and grip, and Shu is hand. So Wo Shu is to grip hands. Sometimes Wo Shu comes with a bow. Just lower your body a little bit. Especially when the host meets the host should shake hands first to show his welcome. However, when they say goodbye to each other, it is the guest who should offer his hands first. There are also some exceptions. If someone, no matter whether he is superior or not, offers his hand before you, it is courteous to give an unreserved response. Then, how to shake hands with others? Generally, you should pay much attention to the time and strength. It is inappropriate to shake hands too long or too short. 3 to 5 seconds is the best, not exceed to 30 seconds at most. Handshaking should be simple and light, without over-exertion. There are also some things that are unacceptable when shaking hands. Shake hands absent-mindedly. Shake hands with left hand. Shake hands while wearing a hat, gloves, or sunglasses. Shake hands crossways, having your other hand in your pocket. Shake hands while seated unless disabled. Refuse to shake hands with others. When someone is in rush and no time for a handshake, you can just have a hand wave. A hand wave in Chinese is Zhao Shou. A wave is a non-verbal communicating shun, gestures that consist of the movement of the hand and/or entire arm that people commonly use to greet each other. But it can also be used to say goodbye, acknowledge another's presence, call for silence, or deny someone. The different ways that humans communicate with one another are plentiful, but the wave gesture is one of the clearest examples of how researchers get a better understanding of how they are essential part to language and thought. If you are familiar with Chinese social media, the application WeChat's most used emoji is hands put together. People in China likes to use this body gesture to represent praise and gratitude. This gesture is described as shuang shou. Shuang means double, shou means hand. Here, to put together, shi, 10. Also used for asking something. Most commonly by girls, it is used commonly by girls or women. Please, please, or in their language, bai chu, bai chu. In real life, putting two hands together is originally used to pray. In Buddhism, which is the dominant religion in China, people put two palms together and close their eyes when praying. This gesture is described as shuang shou he qi. It literally means double hands put together to make 10. This praying gesture is also used in everyday life as a way to say thank you or please. When you're asking someone for a big favor, you can say thank you. Girls like to say please, please, pretty please with this gesture too. What is the famous photo-taking gesture in China? It is called scissors hand. Now, next time you take a picture with your Chinese friends, don't forget to have this gesture. Have you noticed how Chinese people talk about numbers with their hands? It is said when Chinese talk about numbers, their hands do the business. Examples are given from 1 to 9. Amidst the noisy hustle and bustle of major Chinese cities, using sign language to communicate numbers is commonplace and sometimes necessary when your voice could easily be drowned out by the crowd. These hand gesture signals may have originated from ancient China as a way for businessmen to communicate bets discreetly in public places, or as a way to bridge the gap between different languages and dialects. In modern-day China, they remain an important means of communications and are especially useful to Chinese learners attempting to master day-to-day commercial interactions. The gesture for 6 is very much like the Hang Lu sign made famous by Hawaiian surf culture. Pull your middle 3 fingers into your palm and have your thumb and pinky stick out. However, it's not necessarily to wriggle your wrist like you would when gesturing to surf buddies. 7 looks very similar to the way people rub their fingers together to signify money in the West, except that the fingers remain stationary. Touch your index and middle fingers to your thumb and point your fingers in a horizontal direction. You can also have all 4 fingers touch your thumb, although this may be a little bit harder to do. For added emphasis, you can point the tips of your thumb, index and middle fingers away from each other, while still keeping them touching. 8 looks sort of like a sideways L, or as if you fashioning your fingers into the shape of a handgun. With your palm facing you, point your thumbs upward and point your index fingers across your body. 9 is indicated by making a hook with your index finger and closing the rest of your fingers. The hook resembles the shape of the character for 9. First and palm salute. For centuries, China has been known as a Li Zibang, which means a country of rights. There were various formal greeting etiquettes in ancient China. Among them, the first and palm salute is quite a classical one. Today, though Chinese would usually shake hands when meeting friends and relatives, similar it is the West. People would still make fist and palm salutes when they are paying visit to someone during the traditional Chinese New Year or attending someone's wedding reception, birthday reception, or funeral. The gesture of fist and palm salute. Firstly, you stand at attention. If you are a male, right hand, half fist, and then left hand hold the right hand in front of your chest. Watching each other's in the eyes, raise both hands to brow. Bend down and shake hands towards each other gently for 3 times. Meanwhile, you could say some lucky greeting words such as Gong Hei Fat Choi, or in other words, wish you earn big buck, or Ni Hao, which means hello, Xing Hui, which means nice to meet you, Xin Yang Kuai Lei, which means Happy New Year, etc., to each other according to the different occasions. Noted that in history, for male Chinese people, they consider the left as the important and honorable side. If you are female, the honorable side is the right, and you should do the first palm salute. The other way, which should be right hand on the top. When you are attending funeral, you should do the first palm salute on the opposite way. Right hand on the top for men, and left hand, which should be right hand on the top. The gesture is not suitable to use in big and official occasions, such as the National People's Congress. So, on what occasion should we make fist and palm salute? Meeting friends, farewell, wedding ceremony, birthday party, victory banquet, paying, visiting, etc. Fist and palm salute means greeting, say hello, congratulations, and so on. When someone presents fist and palm salute to you, you should do it back friendly as well. So the frequent mistake is that fist and palm salute is not the same to hold fist salute. Hold fist salute is called Bao Quan Li in Chinese. It means holding a fist in the other hand. It is quite similar to the first and palm salute, but quite different as well. The gesture of hold fist etiquette is that the right hand is made at fist. The left hand is to hold or cover the right fist. Make sure that the left thumb is close to the index finger and does not point to yourself, as it indicates arrogance. Hold fist salute shows the humility. The biggest difference to fist and palm salute, which is commonly used in daily occasions, is that the hold fist salute is often widely used among the Kung Fu masters and students. That's all. Thank you. Hope you learned something.
Nice work, Bong! We can now proceed to the last one.
Good day everyone, I'm Christine Mila Batsegi and I will be talking about the Chinese relationship and communication. In terms of family relationships, the families in China have a collaborative identity. Whatever act, may be positive or negative, will impact or affect the reputation of all people. A Chinese family is patriarchal. Family elders are greatly valued. In terms of dating, it is highly discouraged to display intimacy in public. In terms of marriage, China in 1981 implemented a code governing marriage and family relations, in which Article 2 emphasizes the freedom to choose a partner. Arranged marriage, according to Article 3 and 4, is against the code. The right age to marry for a man is 22 years old and 20 years old for women. Women have the freedom to whether or not use the surname of her husband. In terms of family relations, financial support to parents who are incapable of providing for themselves is the children's responsibility. Children may adopt either their father or mother's surname and have the right to inherit their property as well as the parents. In terms of gender roles, the role of women is subordinate to men as influenced by the philosophy of Confucius. But in the 20th century, the foundation of People's Republic gave rise to gender equality. Chinese women at present time now enjoy the roles that used to be exclusive for men. If you would be wondering what is Confucianism, it is a philosophy of Confucius that teaches how inequality and obedience maintain a harmonious society. It is the guiding philosophy of the Chinese in early times, but have been abolished over the past decades. We'll proceed to communication. Verbal communication. The language used in China is widely known as Mandarin. Men generally speak louder than women, and when the latter talks loudly, she is perceived to be ill-mannered. Chinese seldom give a negative response, perhaps to be polite. Chinese laughs out a bad news to avoid uncomfortable atmospheres. In nonverbal communication, Chinese rely more on nonverbal communication such as facial expression or tone of voice. Chinese value their personal space and does not like being touched unless it is from a family or close friends. Chinese prefer a half-meter distance from one another. When it is from strangers, it would be farther. Chinese avoid eye contact for privacy matters. However, in communicating, direct eye contact is favored over indirect contact. Silence means respect and a considerate thought before response. Displaying your feet or using it to point and move something is very rude. Frowning during conversations is a sign of disagreement. Whistling is rude. Waving in front of one's face is no. Shrugging shoulders and winking are not always understood by Chinese. So that's it for the relationship and communication in China.
Great job, everyone! Hey tourists, what can you say about China? Let us know!